What is up, beer friends? Welcome back to another episode of Beer Detour. Today, I wanted to talk about a question one of my friends asked me the other day. They were asking me how long I took on editing these videos, these episodes for you guys. And to be honest, I told them most of my time in making the video is spent editing. I would say about 85% or so of the time that I use to make the video is editing. A good amount of time is setting this whole thing up, but the majority of it is editing. And then I started to think, how can I trim the fat a little bit more, right? Edit it just a little bit better, just to showcase the highlights and the best moments of the episode for you guys to be entertaining. So I really started to think about how I can trim the fat. And I came up with an edit that I think has done it for me. This is the end of the video. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I'll see you guys next weekend, next Friday, for another episode. Thanks, guys. Oh, you're still here. Oh, if you're still watching this, well, you're a good fan, and I appreciate you. I'm sending you the love. Thank you guys for sending me the love and sticking through to watch the whole video. Now, back to being serious. On today's episode, I did have a question, but it was a little bit of a different question, you guys. Enough playing around. This question actually was, where do you get the beer that you use for the review, and how do you choose the beer for the review? So two different things. The first part of that, usually in the episode while I'm showcasing the beer, reviewing the beer, I'll let you guys know exactly where I got it from. But in most cases, it's a little hard because I get it locally sourced, either from a brewery or from a merchant near me. And a lot of times, if you're watching this anywhere else besides Washington, it's a little hard to get your hands on the exact beer that I'm offering or that I'm reviewing. So I usually let you guys know where you can get something similar, or I recommend something that's similar to the beer that I'm trying so you guys can try it. But for the most part, I just like to give a review and showcase the beer. But the other part to that was also, how do I select the beer? Right? How do I go about selecting the beer that I want to review and that I want to showcase and that I want to highlight for the week? So it's actually a very strict process. I'm not kidding. This takes a lot of time. There is meetings, there is a setup, there is a checklist of things that I need to go through to find the perfect beer. A lot of time gets spent on selecting the perfect beer for the week's review. It's not easy, and in fact, I didn't want to even talk about it before because it takes me so long to find a perfect beer for that week's episode that it's just really boring. And so instead of explaining this to you guys and kind of going over charts and graphs and showing you guys exactly what my process is, I thought it'd be fun for you guys to see exactly how much time and effort goes into selecting the beer to be reviewed that week. So I'm going to show you guys something that I've never done before. I'm going to show you guys my process of showing you guys how I select the beer for the week's review. Roll the clip. All right, now that you've seen the strict and complex process that it takes to select the beer for review, we can finally go over it. So this is not your father's root beer. That's right, it's not your father's root beer. Then whose root beer is it? Well, it's my root beer today. This is from a little company called Small Town Brewery out of Wakanda, Illinois. No, not that Wakanda. I hope I'm saying that right. Wakanda? I'll put it on the screen so you guys know I'm not lying. This was founded by John Dopak and Tim Kovac in Wakanda in 2010. Kovac first started homebrewing in 1988. After 3 years of development, Not Your Father's Root Beer was released in Illinois in 2012. It was initially sold in its 19.5 ABV, or alcohol by volume, incarnation in kegs at local bars and in liquor stores. The brewery then did 2 small bottling runs of 10.7 ABV root beer in 22-ounce bottles. Then, in November of 2014, they released it in 12-ounce bottles of a 5.9 ABV version, which is what I have here, guys. This is the 12-ounce version. It has an ABV, or alcohol by volume, of 5.9%. Check it out, guys. Not your father's, but he'd like it too, root beer. All right, so this caught my eye in the aisle. A couple of things. First of all, I haven't drank root beer in a very, very long time. I do remember in grade school, they used to do parties and they would do root beer floats. So maybe it'll taste a little bit like that. I always enjoyed those root beer floats. They were awesome. But I haven't tried root beer by itself in a very long time. Root beer is just a fizzy drink. And I just really never was attracted to that taste. But a root beer might be interesting. So I'm very curious to see what it looks like, what it tastes like, and then of course we're going to give it that Beer Detour score. So we just went ahead and poured out Not Your Father's root beer from Small Town Brewery. Now, I was very interested to see how this was going to pour out, and it didn't really disappoint. As you guys can see, it has the exact consistency of a root beer. It looks like root beer. Ooh, and it smells like root beer. The consistency, the foam, the head of it, it dissipated really, really quickly. And it has this very cola-like appearance, just like a root beer. It's very dark, opaque, very dark, rich amber color. But if I gave this to somebody, I'd be hard-pressed for them to figure out that this was not just a regular root beer, because it definitely smells like root beer. Very rich, dark, sugary smell, and a little bit of a vanilla overtone. But, I mean, you can't smell the alcohol at all, which might be dangerous, but I'm very interested to see what this tastes like. It has a, almost like a dark porter or a stout look to it, which might be a little scary. The sugary aroma is very prevalent in this one here. But of course, we won't know until we try it. All right, so let's go ahead and try out Not Your Father's root beer from Small Town Brewery. Cheers, everybody. That is strange. That is very strange. Wow. That is a little bit of a mind. That is very, very odd taste. So, how can I describe that? Sugary. Root beer. Almost overwhelmingly sweet, to be honest. Not bitter, not sour, not pungent. A sweet, I want to say smooth, a sweet, smooth, vanilla, caramelly like flavor, candy-like flavor to it. It has sort of like a molasses type of taste to it as well. It's that caramel, vanilla, sweet, creamy type of taste and texture to it. It's not bitter. It's not sour. It's completely different than a normal IPA. It takes a very caramelly sweet porter and just amplifies it 100-fold, I think. It's very strange. It's hard to kind of, it really is hard to kind of describe just because I've never tasted anything like this. It's very candy-like, soda-like flavor. I mean, it tastes almost exactly like a root beer. I get it. I understand where they're coming from. 5.9 ABV, it's not a small amount either. So you can get pretty buzzed off a couple of these. And to be honest with you guys, I think if you grab a six-pack, you're going to be perfect. It's an oddity. To be honest with you guys, it is an oddity. If you like root beer, you're probably going to like this. But it is very strange, and it has a very strange, unique flavor. Let's go over and give this a Beer Detour score now. So what have we learned, guys? Well, we learned that root beer is extremely sweet, very creamy, and very different. It's an odd, really odd taste. I've never tasted something like this. Not to say that it's a bad taste. I think that if you like root beer, the soda, you're probably gonna like this, and you're gonna like it even better when you get a nice buzz off of it, right? So I would say for the people that are looking for something different and strange and want to bring something different to a party, this might be your choice. This is it's just strange enough, it's just weird enough for people to try out, and it's not bitter, it's not sour, it's not going to pull people away. I think people, if they like root beer, they're going to like this one. So I would recommend this to family and friends because it's something that's very, very sweet. It doesn't overwhelm you. It has a nice aroma. It has a soda-like taste to it. The carbonation isn't a lot. It's very subtle. It goes over very creamy, very sweet. But then again, like I said, if it's something that you want to try, I would say definitely give this a shot. If you're looking for something more in the craft beer business, like an IPA, a stout, or a porter, something like that. If you're looking for that type of craft beer, you might be deterred from this one because it doesn't have that really bitterness or hoppy presence. Sugary, tastes really, really good, but sometimes, with alcohol, especially with beer, you don't really want sweet beer. There's a little bit of a bitterness to beer, right? And so if you're looking for that, you're not going to get there with this. You're going to get a sweet, candy-like and soda-like type of taste. But if you're into that, recommend it. If you're not looking for that, not recommended. But in regards to a Beer Detour score for Not Your Father's Root Beer, I'm going to have to give this one a 7.0. So that's right in the middle, and there's a couple of different reasons for that, guys. Like I said, it did taste good because it was like a sugary root beer. I mean, just pour some, or just get some ice cream, pour this over, and now you got a really badass root beer float, right? With some alcohol in it. And it tastes really good. But if you're looking for something that's more of a craft beer, stout, porter, pilsner, craft beer, you're probably gonna not like this. All right, so I think you guys can find this one at most places. Check it out, Not Your Father's Root Beer. But I think he'd like it too. I think he would like it. All right, guys. So this one was a very unique, strange, quirky, oddity. What else can we describe it as? A very cool episode, and I appreciate you guys sticking through to the very, very, very sweet end with this one. I'll be back next week again to do it all over again. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button. You want to hit that notification bell. That way you're alerted every time a new video drops. You want to like, comment, and share. Do your guys' thing. I'll be back next week with another review, another brewski just for you guys. See you guys.